I was letting Bruce our, respected NBA elder.
He did look like he had something to say. Nick,
I was going to ask a Hall of Fame question, then I realized it's
we got
the basketball Hall of Fame.
We got another round.
You think he's getting in?
We got another round. We're wonderful. I'll take it out of the show.
I think that's a good debate.
Colorado gearing up. Okay, Brew, we'll have it in an hour. Colorado gearing up to play UCF on Saturday afternoon. Early draft boards gearing up to see where Travis Hunter will fall and where on the field he'll be. Richard Sherman weighed in. Take a listen.
What do you think of Travis Hunter playing both receiver and DB at Colorado? You think it's feasible in the league, or do you think it's
no? Hell no. You know that,
right? I want to hear from you. Right.
Well, you talk crazy, but as a receiver, I just think he'd kind of blend.
Okay, then Travis responded, "Stop speaking on me and let me play football." Okay. Bland. All right. Greg, your reaction to all of that?
This is strange because, obviously, Richard Sherman had some experience playing receiver, and obviously we know him as a DB. But what Travis Hunter is doing, number one, is special. I'm not going to say it's bland because for the first couple games, it was like his impact was felt most at receiver. And so oftentimes we say what can't happen when we haven't truly seen it at a high rate, which is what Richard Sherman is speaking to, because we just haven't seen anybody play so many snaps in the NFL on both sides of the ball. We've seen guys do it, Deion, even Charles Woodson has done it a little bit, but I would love to see somebody give him an opportunity to try. Wow. Again, at the volume that he's doing it, I don't think that's possible.
No, never coming off the field.
Like 40 plus snaps on both sides. I don't think that's possible.
Can I just ask you a quick question? So if they're like, hey, you're going to be full-time one side of the ball, part-time other side of the ball, whether because of the way the game is played or his skill set, what would you say he'd be more likely full-time at, more likely part-time at?
I think he would be more likely full-time at corner.
That's what I thought. Okay.
However, I think he wants to impact the game so much, he wants to play receiver.
Okay, I thought, and maybe Travis, just heard a snippet of what, he probably just saw the quote from Sherman. Yeah. If you listen to Richard Sherman was very complimentary of him. He said he was a natural cornerback. He just said as a receiver, he gave him constructive criticism coming off the ball, against press coverage and stuff. He said he's going to struggle, or at least the way he is now. Said he needs to get better at route running, but said as a corner, he's just a naturally great corner. So I thought it was, for the most part, complimentary. And he said if he focuses on receiver, he could probably become elite. Greg, but I think Sherman's right. I don't see any way he's playing full-time both receiver and corner in the NFL. Deion had 1 year with more than 12 catches or targets. Like, Charles Woodson had 2 catches in the NFL. Like, I don't think this guy's a better athlete than Deion Sanders was, and he didn't do both ways full time.
But so I do think he's a better receiver than Deion was. So Deion's the greatest corner I've ever seen, and has an argument he's the greatest defensive player in the history of football. So I'm not saying putting Travis at all in his category of athlete or corner, but I do think he's a better receiver than Deion was. I think it would be odd to have you can't, I don't think, realistically play in certain packages part-time corner if you're the team's best corner, which is what he'd want to be. It doesn't make sense. Do I think there's a scenario where it's like, hey, you are our number 1 corner and number 4 wide receiver? So when we have our 4 wide receiver packages on the field,
which is essentially what Deion kind of did.
I think Deion was less than that. I think Deion had like a Deion package, you know what I mean, to get into rounds or whatever it is. Personally, I also would have said 2 years ago, if you're like, hey, is there ever going to be a kid that never comes off the field and is the best player on both sides of the ball?
Point that I'm making.
Like, I'd have said no. So I'd like to see him try, and I don't want to see him fail, but I would like it to be that he has to fail at it before
this weekend. He wasn't amused when Marlon Humphreys was on Instagram Live after a game that got sneaky close. Here's Lamar.
I'm all about winning, and I don't want to say winning style, but I just want to, when we're up, I just want to punish people. I just want to I just want to get out of there with a dub, clear-minded, just we got things to work on. There's always going to be things to work on, no matter if you beat a team 40-0 or 22-26, or 28-26. But it's like, I ain't want the camera on me. Like, that's my brother, I know he's going to do what he do, but it's like, man, not right now. I'm a little ticked off like how the game went. That's all.
Okay. Out here talking like Brock Purdy. Just to step on their throat when they're up multiple scores.
Through your reaction.
I love it. This is just what the doctor ordered. I mean, Harbaugh, I would like to see Harbaugh talk more about it, but I know they're a self-policing locker room and he lets the players do it. I don't think Harbaugh talks enough about their fourth quarter struggles, all right? But to see Lamar do it, I think is great, all right? So this is what I want to see because that win against Dallas, I had the feeling that I had when the Eagles started last year 10-1. Remember they were rolling, but it was always, first it was the media talking about, they don't look the same. They don't look that good. And then their team was even like, we don't, Yeah. And so even though they were winning, I think Lamar nipping this in the bud, hopefully, right away is great for them. And all that said, Lamar's been part of the problem too. So you look at these numbers, these are the last 3 seasons, so it's really just 2 full seasons in these 3 games. The fourth quarter, his production, completion percentage, it doesn't drop too much, but look at the TD to turnovers. He goes from being like MVP caliber in that and passer rating to below, maybe a subpar even in the fourth quarter. So he's got to play better in the fourth as well. But this is what needs to be said because I'm glad they are not like, hey, we won, we beat a good team in their building, we're back. No, this is right.
Yeah, I like what he said. Look, let's be honest. It's hard to just embarrass teams every single week. And so for me, as a player, when you get in those positions, stylistically things start to change. Your approach starts to change. When you're up 28-6, no one is thinking, number one, about what happened last week against the Raiders or what has happened historically in the past and the things that we've struggled with. We believe that this game is in hand. So stylistically, your coordinators on both sides start to change how they approach things. You go in at halftime, you know what the speech is for the team that's up. Let's keep doing what we're doing. There's not a whole lot of adjustments while the other team is making all the adjustments because they're behind. And so when you go with that approach, it's different to just punish teams when the plays aren't really punishing anymore. It's more, let's calm it, let's just control the ball, let's maintain possession of the ball.
But they know this is a problem.
What I'm saying is you don't believe it's a problem until it starts to kind of show up in your face. So until the Dallas Cowboys scored a couple times beyond 28.
But don't you think they shouldn't be feeling like in that graphic I showed last 3 seasons, they've blown 8 fourth quarter leads, which is tied for the most in the league, and 4 of them were double digits, which is also tied for the most. So I'm just saying it should already be on there, a top of mind that, hey, we've had this problem closing out games. They maybe do something differently, maybe stay as aggressive and don't get conservative. I don't know.
This Cowboys thing had nothing to do with Lamar's side of the ball. I feel like everyone's forgetting how the game went.
That's what I'm saying, both coordinators.
Yeah. The Ravens are up 28-6. Justin Tucker's lining up for a field goal. He misses it. The Cowboys get the ball. They score a touchdown. Lamar's on the sideline. The Cowboys kick an onside kick. They get it. Lamar's on the sideline. The Cowboys score a touchdown. Lamar's on the sideline. Then the Ravens get the ball. They've run at will all game. Derrick Henry run. It's 3rd and medium. Lamar misses 1 pass. They punt. The Cowboys score a touchdown. So Lamar had his hands on the ball for 1 play between 28-6 and 28-25. Then when he got the ball, he made the pass on 3rd and 6, made the run, the game was over. So I'm not letting him off the hook for the last 3 years.
What I'm talking about. Yeah.
But in this, what I think is noteworthy is who was on the field that whole time was the Ravens defense. I've watched the Ravens defense in all 3 games this year. I don't know that they're good. I think we might be missing the actual story with the Ravens right now. It's always so much about Lamar, understandably. He's 2-time league MVP, I get it. That in that Chiefs game, the best the Chiefs offense has looked all year was against them.
That's true.
The best the Ravens offense has looked all year was against them. The best the Cowboys offense has looked